You white liberals have a lot of nerve.
That's identity politics.
You white liberals,
Royce,
you white liberals hate when black men vote Republican. You hate when black men say that they like being American citizens. You hate when black men say that we want to have a border. You hate when black men say stop sending our money to the Ukraine. And you go to the WWE politics to try and defend your latent racism. That's what it is.
Hold on a second, Royce. Aren't you against identity politics?
Absolutely.
So what are you talking about white liberals for, especially when
what do you
I'm
mean?
A Hispanic Jewish immigrant from Argentina?
Yeah, right, but you have a white liberal ideology.
I really appreciate you being on today.
Your latent racism is obvious. Make sure you post the interview. Don't be a coward.
David Pakman invited Royce White onto his show, and honestly, that turned out to be a huge mistake. During their talk, Royce White completely outsmarted and embarrassed David right on his own program. You could actually see it on Pakman's face. He knew he was losing the debate.
Royce, if I understand correctly, in 2020 you wrote in Tulsi Gabbard, but you're behind Trump currently. Is that right?
That is correct.
So listen, you came to my attention in a clip I talked about the other day, where you said one of the issues you find right now is that women have become, quote, too mouthy. Tell me about that. How did you come to believe that?
Well, first of all, I was being humorous.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, no, I was being pretty humorous. I'm kind of a sick puppy. I got a sort of unique humor. But I will say that it is my opinion, but I think even more so a fact that the left has weaponized identity politics in our current political culture, and that the identities of women, the LGBTQ, blacks, and Jews are all sort of used in a similar fashion to manufacture consent, that being an American citizen isn't so much that important anymore. And so
give me an example of that. Give me an example of that. So let's just pick one of those, for example.
Well, let's take all four, because they're all four fruit from the same poisonous tree.
Well, but just so that it's clear to the audience, let's just pick one as an example to show kind of your line of reasoning. How has female identity been weaponized in order to show that being an American citizen isn't important?
Well, number one, the feminist movement and the women's rights movement have been clumped into a more global citizen-based ideology, that we are all one global citizenship, and the women's rights movement is at the helm of that, much by their own powerful organization, grassroots, not only here in the country, but all around the world.
If that were the case, though, Royce, and I'm just trying to understand this, I want this to be a conversation.
But wait a second. But what I'm saying is, and let me be even more specific.
Yeah.
The prevailing consensus around the women's rights movement and the feminist movement are ideas such as believe all women. That was popular with the Me Too movement, and then you have an even more pervasive idea that in general, and it's said casually, but it's said with a lot of emphasis and potency, let's say, that men are not useful, and that women are the women in their existence in this country politically right now today, but sort of all around the world, are nothing more than a byproduct of a tyrannical patriarchy. And by that definition, or by that thinking, that men are more so a hindrance on society and useless.
Who says that? Who says men aren't useful? Give me a name.
Well, I mean, for one is Anna Navarro. Self-described Republican centrist Anna Navarro
says that men aren't useful.
Anna Navarro sat right up there on The View with Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg and the rest of them, and she made a joke about men not being useful except for gay men because they're very good at gossip and accessorizing.
But
she said it right there on national television.
We started this interview with you saying, oh, what you said about women being mouthy is a joke. You're conceding what Anna Navarro said is a joke. And so you're one example.
Well, no, I don't think it's a joke.
Let me get the question.
I don't think it's a joke.
Hold on. You just said it's a joke.
Let's be clear. No, I didn't. I said what I said was said in humor, but it had a lot of validity to it. I don't think what Anna Navarro said was a joke, even though it was said in a joking setting.
How do you know it wasn't a joke then?
No, I said I don't think it's a joke.
Okay.
Just like people would say they don't think what I said is a joke. I have the right to think that. My point is that there is a growing ideology that you can see by looking at social media, which is a good temperature gauge of what people think, obviously, because you're bringing up something I said that was posted on social media.
Well, I don't want to get bogged down in this necessarily, but it sounds, Royce, like you're one example.
No, it's not bogged down. It's important detail.
It sounds like you're one detail of the prevailing view of the feminist movement being men aren't useful is something Anna Navarro said jokingly. Is that
No,
right?
no. Nana Navarro, just like you're trying to represent my views, or let's not say you, let's say the mainstream media has tried to represent my view about women in general based on one soundbite from one podcast as a general sort of
yeah, but
picture
forget
of,
about that, Royce. I'm
no,
just
no, let's
asking
not
you,
forget
what are your
about it. No,
examples?
let's not forget about it. If you're going to keep interrupting me, then I'm going to keep interrupting you. What I'm
This is
saying
going
is that
nowhere, though.
the mainstream media, no, you're saying it's not going anywhere. I'm explaining it perfectly fine. The mainstream media is trying to depict or paint a picture of a rising, let's say, misogynist America First movement based on my one soundbite. But then you turn around and say, well, you can't talk about all feminist ideology based on Anna Navarro. What are we talking about? I'm not,
No,
first
so
of all,
let's
I'm not
see if
doing
we
that.
can reframe. No, let's see if we can reframe, Royce, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
You've sort of been leading this, okay? You identified a number of groups. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me just get the question out. And then if you disagree with the question, then the audience can judge for themselves.
Okay.
You indicated a number of groups. You named women, and you
Yes.
named Jews, and you named others
Blacks
that are
and
making
the
it so that
LGBTQ.
being an American citizen is no longer super important. We focused in.
Blacks,
Hold on a second, Royce. I got to
women,
be
the
able to get the question out if
LGBTQ,
we can.
and Jews. I want to be clear.
Hold on a sec. You
Don't say
named
in
a
other
number of
groups. Don't say and other groups. The four groups were blacks, the LGBTQ, women, and Jews.
Yes. We focused in on women.
Yes.
And I asked you for examples. And
Yes.
the one example that you have provided to justify the claim you made is something Anna Navarro said on The View.
No, just an example.
Well, give me another example. Who are the people saying that men are not useful?
Royce White is trying to pivot from his controversial comment into a bigger point about identity politics. But the problem is, he leans on a single TV joke as his proof. The host, to be fair, keeps asking for specific examples, and Royce gets defensive. It feels like Royce is passionate but unfocused. Instead of building a case, he's battling for control of the narrative. And when you start arguing about intent versus perception this early, the debate's already unstable.
Oh, well, they're not. Well, that just happened to be what Anna Navarro said specifically.
But you said that that's
ideology,
a narrative. Who says it?
The ideology is that men represent the remnant of a tyrannical patriarchy, and by default, the usefulness of men is in question at a societal-wide basis.
Okay. I don't want to use all our time on this, but it sounds like we're not going to get any more examples, and the audience can kind of judge that for themselves.
Hey, you can pick anybody you want. The whole Me Too movement was based on the claim that we should believe all women. Do you think we should believe all women?
Well, that we've already talked about. It's a completely different question, and it has to do with
no,
what
it's
is the
not.
responsibility
No, it's just,
of police
no.
to
Wait a
investigate
second.
if
Wait a
there's
second.
probable
Wait a
cause, and
second.
it has nothing whatever.
Wait a second.
Whatever
It's
to
not
do
a
with the
different question.
usefulness of being
It's
an
not a
American
different
citizen.
question at all. It certainly does, because there are fundamental rights of being an American citizen, one of which has always been the presumption of innocence.
Oh,
number
boy.
one. So there is complete merit to bring it into question when we talk about American citizenship.
Royce,
But,
you understand
again,
that when police investigate crimes, they investigate crimes, but that doesn't take away the presumption of innocence in a court of law. Like, this is basic legal stuff, Royce.
No. It takes away the presumption of innocence in the court of public opinion.
But this is crazy.
It takes away the presumption of innocence in the court of public opinion, which now in today's world can be just as dangerous as the opinion in the court of law. And even for
false rape claims are 0.02% of all sexual assault claims.
According to you.
According to crime reporting from police departments all over the country.
According to you
to
and
the police departments.
According to you, then why don't they bring more claims?
Who?
Why don't more make it to the courtroom?
What claims?
Because they lack evidence. The reason why police departments say, first of all, again, you're trying to sidetrack me and you keep interrupting me. You brought me on your show.
You created this sidetrack.
You brought me on your show. You brought me on your show.
And we're not
asked me about a question about women. I'm answering a question about feminists in the feminist movement.
Hold on, Royce. You
the point is when you assume that all women are telling the truth, or that we should believe all women on face value, by default,
I don't know anyone who has said that.
The whole movement of the whole Me Too movement was based on this idea that believe all women.
That's your assertion. I don't believe that to be true.
Oh, okay. Well, you let your viewers decide then. Let's go to the next question.
Trust but verify is the view that I've always had.
Believe
Police
all
have a
women
duty-
was the believe all women
police
was the
have a duty to
commercial,
investigate
widespread
if-
commercial. Believe all women was the widespread commercial and cultural sentiment from the Me Too movement, 150,000%.
You know, Royce, you sidetracked us on Believe All Women, right?
No,
You brought
I
it up
didn't.
out of nowhere.
The Believe All Women idea is a part of the claim that women have become mouthy.
Okay. Let me ask about a couple of other
And I will
things
say,
related to your campaign.
I will say, in that vein, when women are allowed to say things about men with no boundaries or no constraints whatsoever, and it's culturally accepted across American culture and across political culture, that is, in my opinion, more than a valid reason to be able to say, hey, women are getting out of control. And I do think radical feminists are getting out of control. I should have been more specific, but
I get the
I thought I was
point
being
that
humorous.
you think women are out of control. I got it.
No. I said radical feminists are out of control. Be clear. And they are. That's why they're bringing their children to drag stripper shows.
Let me ask about a couple of things.
Do you think that's okay? Do you think it's okay to sexualize children at drag stripper shows?
I don't think the children are being sexualized if they go to a drag show. No, I just don't think that that's the sexualization
You don't
of
think
children.
that you don't think children are being? Would it be okay for me as a grown adult male to take underage kids to a regular strip club?
I don't think they're allowed. No.
So why are they allowed to do it in but why aren't they allowed?
Royce.
Why aren't they allowed? Is it because of the alcohol or because of the sexualization?
I don't know the laws around strip clubs. I couldn't tell you. But Royce, if
maybe you should learn them though, because you're
here,
talking about drag shows. You have an opinion about the drag shows, and you say that's completely fine.
Royce, you brought
but
them
you
up.
have an opinion about.
I'm gonna have to mute you, Royce. I'm gonna have to mute you.
Okay.
You're bringing up topics and then telling me I brought them up. This isn't a way to be interviewed as a serious
I didn't say
person.
that. I didn't say you brought it up. I said you had an opinion about it.
You told me I brought up Believe All Women and that I brought up drag shows.
No, I
you
didn't.
Brought those issues
no,
up.
I did not say that. They'll be able to watch it back and see for themselves how it went.
I
didn't say you brought it up.
I see what both sides are getting at here. Royce White is trying to tie feminism and cultural overreach into his broader critique of media narratives. But the host keeps him pinned to legal definitions. This clash shows two very different debating styles. One emotional and ideological, the other factual and procedural. It's interesting because both sound like they're debating different conversations. Royce's tone turns confrontational here, and you can feel the frustration building, like he's trying to win a cultural war inside a 5-minute interview window.
I brought it up. I'm going to bring up every topic I want to bring up.
Oh, so
you white liberals are not going to tell
you.
I brought up the feminist movement, and I brought up the drag stripper shows as an example.
Can we continue the interview?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
You brought up strip clubs. It was recently revealed you spent campaign donations at a strip club. Is that true?
That's not true.
Okay. It's been sourced very well by the Daily Beast. Where'd they get this information?
The Daily Beast, first of all, the Daily Beast is not a good source. That's number one. But number two, it wasn't well sourced even in that article at all. It was a reference to a campaign filing with the FEC that was not done properly.
Who didn't do the filing properly?
Whoever was in charge of the filing.
And who was that?
Well, there were a number of people, I would assume, who were in charge of getting that accounting done, but it wasn't.
You don't know who the people are doing your accounting?
Oh, yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, I know who they are. Do you want me to list the entire list of people who worked on it?
Yeah.
So you have time for me to go through a list of people who worked on the filing, but you don't have time to talk about the details of the political issues you want to discuss?
Well, how many people is it?
Give me a break. Who do you people think you're fooling?
I don't think we're fooling anybody.
Who do you people think you're fooling?
So the people who prepared
I answered your question.
The reports.
I answered the question.
I'm trying to understand it, Royce. The people who prepared the reports.
The answer is no. The answer to your question is no.
I haven't even asked the question yet.
You did. You asked, did I spend campaign finance money on strippers?
And you responded, and now I want to ask a follow-up.
Okay.
Your claim is there were filings which said you spent campaign funds at a strip club, but they were incorrect filings.
No, they didn't say that I spent the funds at a strip club. Or no, let's say they didn't say that I spent the funds on strippers.
But it was spent at a strip club.
Well, strip club they sell food at the strip club, don't they?
So you've spent the money on food at a strip club. Is that more accurate?
You seem to be very unfamiliar with strippers and strip clubs and drag strip shows. So I'll inform you, maybe you aren't informed, that they do have food at strip clubs.
So what you're saying is the money was spent
did you
at
know
a strip
that though?
club.
Did you know that?
I know strip clubs have restaurants.
Have you ever been to a strip club?
One time.
Did you like the food?
No.
You got to go to better strip clubs then.
Okay. But so what you're saying is you did spend the money at strip clubs, but on food. Is that right?
Well, I'm not saying that I spent the money. I'm saying that there was a filing on my FEC report that shouldn't have been there and potentially should have been reimbursed by somebody who may have been at the strip club, but that there is food at the strip club. So to say it was spent on strippers is not based on factual evidence.
I didn't say that.
Especially not from the day you did.
I said it's strip club, not strippers.
No, well, okay. Well,
Which is
that's
the
what's
same thing you're
implied
saying,
by
right?
the Daily Beast.
It's the same thing you're saying, right? So we
But
agree.
that's what's been implied by the Daily
Money
Beast
was
and other
spent
people
at
as well.
a strip club by someone else in your campaign on
That's
food.
that's what's been implied by the Daily Beast and other mainstream media outlets as well.
And what's the truth?
I just told you.
Someone else bought food at a strip club with campaign funds.
No, I told you about the FEC filing. You seem to have a lot of time for this one.
Well, it's because you're so obviously lying.
Okay. I'm so obviously lying.
Yeah, just tell me the truth. So did a staffer spend money on food at a strip club?
You white liberals have a lot of nerve.
That's identity politics.
You white liberals
Royce.
hate when black men vote Republican. You hate when black men say that they like being American citizens. You hate when black men say that we want to have a border. You hate when black men say stop sending our money to the Ukraine. And you go to the WWE politics to try and defend your latent racism. That's what it is.
Hold on a second, Royce. Aren't you against identity politics?
Absolutely.
So what are you talking about white liberals for, especially when
what do you
I'm
mean?
a Hispanic Jewish immigrant from Argentina?
Yeah, right, but you have a white liberal ideology. That's what's funny about it.
Oh, that's something different. All right, Royce, listen, when you start hurling stuff around like that, we do have to end the interview.
You have a post-World War II democratic liberal order, white liberal ideology.
All right. The man who denounces identity politics is playing identity politics.
No, I'm not.
Royce, I really appreciate you being on today.
Your latent racism is obvious. Make sure you post the interview. Don't be a coward.
When Royce White is pressed about campaign finances, he flips the argument, turning it into a cultural and racial attack instead of addressing the question. The host catches the contradiction instantly. Royce says he's against identity politics, but then he leans on it to defend himself. That's the breaking point. What's fascinating here isn't just the meltdown, it's how both sides refuse to yield. The host stays calm, but Royce doubles down and turns it into a symbolic fight about white liberal ideology. This kind of exchange is pure modern political theater. High tension, identity triggers, and collapsing communication. It's messy, but you can't stop watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and subscribe for more breakdowns.